Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make Iridessa. And she is one of the fairies with Tinkerbell, so we will start making her today. So the colours I'm going to use are black. I'm using the Rainbow Loom darkest skin tone colour. I'm using a mango just for the tips of her skirt, and I'm also using the Rainbow Loom Fairy Pastel Yellow Green. It's in the Sweets collection. I'm going to be using 2 of the mini pony beads. They're a 7mm by 4mm. So let's get started. I'm going to be doing the Crafty Ladybug version of hair, where she has hair at the back of her head. I think it looks a lot nicer on a figure to actually have that looking like the back of her head. Our loom is going to be in the offset configuration, so column 1 and 3 are slightly lower than column 2. The open part of the peg, or the arrow, is facing towards us, and as I mentioned, we're double banding, which means you take 2 bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were one. If you have not checked out Crafty Ladybug's website, please do. Her YouTube channel, she's got some really fantastic things up there, and this idea is just, I love it, it's fabulous. So let's place our black bands for her hair. If I can get them on the pegs, there we go. 2 here. I'm going to do a single band and stretch it between these 3 pegs here as a crossover. And I'm going to do the same above it, just here, like that. Now she also has a messy bun on the top of her head, so I'm going to take 4 bands, place them on my hook, and I'm going to twist into a figure 8 once, like that. Then I'm going to take another 4 bands, place them on the end of my hook, and I'm going to lift these over. I don't want them to be twisted too much, so lift them over onto those 4 bands, and then I'm going to split them 2 each side. Okay, and you want to try and make sure that you get the 2 that match the other end of the 2. So if you pull one side, does the other side move? In my case, it does. So I'm going to put my hook through both ends of one side, and I'm going to take the 2 closest to me, up, over and off, and pull, just in a little slip knot. Turn this round. Let's do the same on the other side. Put my hook through both the loops, 2 closest to me, up, over and off, and then reclaim both the ends of those bands. Now you don't want them too tight. As I said, it's a bit of a messy bun. You don't want them too tight, and once you've reclaimed the end, they're not going to be going anywhere, because you are going to be popping that on the top peg right there. Okay, like that. Okay, we need to take a skin tone band, wrap it around your hook twice, get rid of the cat hair, and pop right here. And we're going to dig under that cat band, grab the 2 black bands and loop up, and then grab the 2 top black bands and loop to the side, the next 2 loop to the side, and the bottom 2 loop up and loop up. On the side ones you're only looping up once. Okay, so this one we did twice, this one is once. Once you've done that, push everything back. We are not looping up these last pegs. Okay, now we're going to place the bands for our skin, for the face. Now the top part is the hair. These 3 top bands are the hair. So we start here in the middle, like that, for her face. Push your bands down if you don't have room. I'm going to use 2 here. Normally I used to do 3 because the neck is very sort of wibbly wobbly, but because I have this extra bit here I don't need 3 anymore, so I just use 2. I'm going to take a single band and stretch it as my crossover over there, and between these 2 pegs where the eyes are going I take a single band and twist it once, twice and 3 times, and we'll pop that there. That's going to stop the eyes from falling to the back of the head with your eyes. If you do not have beads, you can use bands, and that's absolutely fine. You would take a single band and wrap it around your hook once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, and that is the same as 1 bead. So you do it twice, once, twice, 3 times and 4 times. And when I say to you, you slide your beads onto a skin tone band and place it across here like that, and lift this top part of the band up to make a crossover, you would do exactly the same, but instead you'd slide your bands onto a skin tone like that, one either side, like as if they were beads, and you place them here just as if they were beads. So just because I'm using beads, if you don't have them, it really doesn't matter. It's not a big swing, don't worry about it. Okay, back to skin tone. We're going to do, oh, before I do that, a very important part, we mustn't miss it. See how we have these 2 top bands and then there's the end cap here. We're going to put our hook under through the end cap like this and move it up onto those skin tone bands for the neck. That's a really important step because it locks the back of the head into the neck. Okay, now we can do our shoulders and our neck. If you see that your bands are a bit twisted, I like to untwist them, and the reason why is once you've looped it all up, it looks a bit silly to see, you know, something so twisted. So I try and unloop them a bit. Alright, now we're moving to the sweet yellow that I have here. They have a slight sort of shimmer to them, a glitter, which I think is rather nice. We're still double banding and getting rid of any of the broken bands that are in there. Now for legs, we need to, now this is her body, okay, so we've come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's her groin area, this is her body, and now we move to legs, and it's 4 bands for the legs of her skin tone. And once you've put those on, then you can actually, let's get rid of that little bit there, do these ones here, which is 2 from the middle to the right, 2 from the middle to the left, and then we need an end cap here, single band, wrap it once and twice, and pop that on the end here. We're going to do crossover bands, so the first one is just going to be a single band that we stretch across. These 2 are going to be single bands that you stretch, do a figure 8 and place on the pegs. Now it's tight. If it's too tight for you, put them on the 2 and then using your hook stretch across to 3. Alright, because these I think are silicone bands and they don't have as much stretch as the rubber. This next is just going to be a single band not stretched on itself. Okay, so for her arms, let's take a single band, wrap it once and twice, and we're going to slide onto 5 pair So there's our first pair, our second pair, our third pair, fourth pair, and fifth pair. Okay, that is going to go here on her shoulder. Let's do the same again. Wrap once and twice, slide on to 5 pair, not all at the same time. There's our first pair, our second pair, our third pair, our fourth pair, and our fifth pair, which is our last pair, and we'll pop that on this shoulder here. Let's do her feet. She wears little yellow slippers, shoes, ballet slippers. Take 2, put them through your hook, wrap once and twice, take another 2, and you're going to slide those on like that. Reclaim the end of your band, take another 2 yellow, wrap once and twice, then move these 2 over it like that, so it's trapped between like that. Then you're going to take 2 skin tone and you're going to slide these on. Now I like to do the 2 first, then I do the band that I wrapped, and then I do the other 2. Reclaim the end, angle your foot, and it gets popped on the end of her leg, which is where most feet go, isn't it? It's quite logical. Let's do the other side. 2 yellow, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 yellow, reclaim the end, 2 yellow, wrap once and twice, move these first 2 over so that it's trapped like that. Take 2 skin tone, throw them around the place because you can. There we go. Slide the first pair on, and then the wrapped bands, and then the other 2. This one just pops on the other leg, like so. Okay, so I think we're actually ready to loop our little girl up. We're going to dig down and grab the 2 bottom skin tone bands and loop them up. You're going to loop all the way up to where her leotard starts, or her bodysuit, whatever you want to call it. Then we're going to dig down past the end cap and grab the 2 top yellow bands and loop them to the side. Do the same for the other side, and the same for the middle. That goes up and up and up and up. You're pushing the crossover bands back with the back of your hook, and it is tight when you have these bands that you've double looped on themselves. It does get tight, so persevere. There we go. Okay, up to the arms. Dig down, pull the arm back if you need to, just to grab those 2 bands. And then we do from the chest to the neck. Dig down here, you're finding 2 bands. Now this is where it gets fun and games. You're popping your hook under to find the 2 top skin tone and looping to the side. The next 2 top, loop to the side. Now here you have to be careful that you don't end up grabbing the bands that make up the end cap, the cap band. So push, there we go, and find that. Now here, we're just doing the 2 skin tone bands. Make sure you push your crossover band back. It should be behind your hook. Now we dig down and find the 2 black bands and the other 2 black bands. Loop to the side, loop to the side, and loop up. Now from here we're going to take 2 black bands. I like to use 2 as insurance. You know, if one breaks, you've still got the other one holding everything together. Pop your hook through all the way past all of those bands out the side and grab your 2 black bands and draw it back up and to the back side of this peg. What I'm going to do, I'm going to splay open the 2 bands that are at the back of her head here. Okay, so I've got 2 here. I'm going to splay those open and I'm going to come forward with those so that they go over her little bun. So her bun is at the back now. I'm going to reclaim, see how I've done that? The bun is at the back. Reclaim the end of my bands and take the front one over and off and pull. And then I'm going to take that tie off band and just wrap it around the back of the bun. Alright. I'm going to use a metal hook to help me take this off the loom. Nobody likes broken bands, especially when you're taking things off the loom. So I use the back of a metal hook just to help me. I think it relieves some of the pressure, and I always take my creations off from the top to the bottom, so I use the smoothed rounded side of the loom rather than pulling against the 2 little jaggedy edges here, which, I mean, they're not very jaggedy, but if you're not using an original Rainbow Loom, they are. Okay, so I'm taking her off. Here she is. Just pull her into shape a bit. You might find that her face, you might need to put your hook in and just pull out a bit just to make sure that all the bands are equally distributed, like so. She's got her little bun. Pull her arms out and down so they don't sort of stand too, well, she looks like a bit of a star, but there we go. Now we're going to make her little tutu, and to do her tutu you're going to take your loom. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter if it's in offset or standard configuration, either works. You're going to take, let me find what I'm after. I want to start with 2 mango, because in the picture I had, she had a darker sort of orangey colour at the top around her waist, which I thought looked quite nice. So 2 mango, and then we're going to use the colour of her outfit. So that's the yellow, the sweets. So 1 pair and 2 pair, and then another pair. Oh, I thought that was a pair, but it's 1 and a broken one. Here's another pair to go here. So you've got 3 here and 1 here, and then an end cap, which is the same colour, single band, wrap it twice and pop that on the end here. You're going to do this 6 times. You can fit 3 on your loom, okay? When you've got them, you're going to loop up and cross over to the side with that one, then loop this one up and loop this one up. You're going to take these off the loom and place over here on that one. So there's 2 sets there, and then loop up your mango. I have done my other 5, so pause the video and then come back to me when you have 6, I call them leaves, 6 of these little leaves ready to go. Alright, so get back to me once you've got 6. Alright, if you're back with me, we're going to grab 2 of the mango bands and we're going to slide these little leaves on to those 2. Pop them on the end of your hook and gently move each of those mango band loops onto the 2 mango bands. You want to try and keep your 2 bands taut. If you don't understand what taut is, it's tight. Keep them pulled tight, because if you let them go slack like that, it's very easy for the ends that are on the hook to fall off. And then you'd be annoyed with me. Alright, so when we have all of them on there, take the other side, so you're reclaiming the end of your band like that, and you're going to take the 2 that are closest to you up, over and off, splay this out, your tie-off bands out, and pop it over the nearest leaf. So there you have a little, it's a flower effectively. So if you're ever looking to make a flower, there you go. This is a made by mummy little sort of flower. But this is how we make the tutu. Now it's very, very tight, and as I mentioned, this is a silicone band. If you're using rubber, it stretches further. If you feel that this is too tight, the trick to it, undo where you put your tie-off band, take it off that leaf, so you're holding it here in your hand, on your hook. You're going to take another 2 mango bands. Oh, again, another broken one. That's not very good, is it? I guess it happens to all brands. So another 2 mango, pop them on your end of your hook, move that mango band that was a tie-off onto it, reclaim the end, do your slip knot, make it nice and tight. Now, as you pull this, your little knot here can go over your other end of your band. I don't know if you can see it very well. You've got the other end of your band here, in here. That's your original 2. So there we go. Pull that out. Now these are your tie-off bands, and you're going to take those and pop them over that first leaf. Okay, but as you stretch this out and move these leaves around, those little tie-off bands get tighter, which is a good thing. Okay, so there we have, it's a little bit looser now, and you stretch this out and you pop her through. Again, as I said, it just depends what bands you have. Rubber does stretch a lot more than the silicone. So there she is. Make the little leaves flare out evenly around her. There's her little tutu. Now, I hope you have already used my fairy tutorial to make your wings. There's a fairy wings tutorial. These are the little wings that you would have made. If you haven't made them, pause this video and let's make the wings, do the wings, and then come back to me. If you've made them, I'm going to show you how you can attach them to her. What you're going to do, at the back of her neck here, you can see there's 2 bands here and there's 2 bands here. You're going to make sure that the longest section of your wing is facing upwards. You're going to split your tie-off bands, put your hook under the first 2 and drag back 1 part of the tie-off. Do that for the other side, so I'm going to hold it. I'm going to go back through the other side, those other little skin tone bands, drag the other one through. You're going to splay the wing out, the tie-off band out, and pop it over the wing like that. And that is how you do the wings for your little fairy. If you're looking to do the fairy stand-up dress for Iridessa, you would do the same skirt as we have for Tinkerbell, but again you would change the colours so that perhaps, and this is the one I did for Tinkerbell, here's Tinkerbell, so I chose the lime green for the edge of her wings, and I chose lime green for the frills at the bottom, and then I made the skirt out of the same colour that we have for her body. To attach it to her body, you push your spoon through like so. Let's make sure that the loop is at the back, the tie-off loop is at the back. So push it halfway down your spoon. You're going to pop her little legs inside, and it's almost like you're making a bed for your fairy inside the spoon. So make her little bed, poke her down so that her waist is at the same level as your skirt. Poke her down, and it's easier to actually pull her up a little bit than it is to poke her down after the fact. Pull your spoon out, and there you have her standing skirt. And so you can make the same one in the mango and sweet yellow for Iridessa. I hope you enjoy making them. Take care.